Computer hardware by itself would not be very useful. This is like after constructing a building for a library. Before the books are put into the bookshelves, it would not function very well as a library. One needs to provide computer clear instructions in order for it to perform something useful. This kind of instructions can be called software. A software is the set of instructions that are given to a computer for performing certain tasks. In general, software used by a computer can be classified into two main categories, namely system software and application software. Application software are programs that are designed to perform certain specific tasks and hopefully could be used easily by users. The focus of this course is on the development of application software. System software are programs that support the execution and development of other programs. Some examples of system software are operating system and translation system, or compilers for programming languages such as Java, Python, and C++. Another type of system software is called utility program. Some examples of utility programs including antivirus program and device drivers for connecting devices to different computers. Here is a diagram that illustrates the interface between hardware and different types of software. In the diagram, you can see that system software can on one hand interact with hardware and on the other hand interacts with application software. For example, an application software may have to issue commands to hardware connected to a computer through system software, say when a program wants to print out some results on a printer. This diagram also illustrates that there is interface between the users and application software. These users could be application programmers who develop the programs or users of the applications. There is also direct interface between users and system software, and they are often called system programmers. Let's also take a look at what we mean by user interface. In general, user interface is the interaction between human and computers. It is sometimes called human-computer interaction or HCI. The goal of HCI design is to produce a user interface that is easy to use and learned. In other words, we want a user-friendly user interface. An important part of an operating system is to provide a user interface between the OS or operating system and the user. For example, the file system is part of the OS. A good interface for a file management system would allow users to maintain and manipulate their files effectively and efficiently. In nowadays computers, there are mainly two kinds of user interfaces, namely command line interface and graphical user interface, or GUI, which is usually pronounced as GUI. In command line interface, one would have to enter certain keywords or commands to instruct the OS to perform certain actions. An example is the command prompt, which you'll find in the Microsoft Windows systems. For this kind of interface, one would have to remember the set of commands in order to interact with the system. For example, the command cd ... that you can see here is to change the current working directory to one level up, and dir or dir is to list out the files in the current directory. From this simple example, you can probably see why such system has become so unpopular and seldom being used except for system programmers or managers. Please don't worry about remember all these commands, as you won't need them for the rest of this course. I'm sure that all of you are familiar with some kind of graphical user interface, or GUI. In GUI, one would find on the screen graphical objects such as icons, pull-down menus, and windows. The user can do point and click by using a pointing device such as a mouse to activate the desired operation. One main advantage with this kind of interface is that you don't have to memorize different commands as in the command line interface. Here is an example showing how one can manipulate files using drag and drop. I don't think any further explanation is needed, as you should all be familiar with such operations. We have often used graphical user interface developed by others. In this course, you'll also learn to develop your own graphical user interface using event-driven programming. An example on the kind of graphical interfaces that you could develop using Java is shown in the following Java applet.